Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to solve three questions. Question number 54, 61 and 64 from GATE exam 2015. If you are watching this video for the first time, myself Yatra and kindly subscribe to our channel so that you will get notified whenever we post videos related to mining.
Question number 54. Airborne PM10 concentration in a residential area is monitored for 24 hours by a respirable dust sampler. The initial and final weights of the filter papers are 2.3125 grams and 2.6996 grams respectively. The average airflow rate during sampling is 1.2 metric cube per minute. The PM10 concentration of the area in microgram per metric cube is. PM10 means particulate matter 10. The particles which are having diameter less than 10 microns are called PM10 particles. To elaborate further, let us consider a human hair. The average diameter of human hair is 50 micron. When comparing to that human hair, the PM10 particles are like a dot because their diameter is only 10 micron. In this question, we are going to find the amount of PM10 particles present in the air when analyzed for 24 hours in a residential area. In order to find that, we are going to use a respiratory dust sampler. The average airflow rate in this area is 1.2 metric cube per minute. The initial weight of the filter paper used in this dust sampler before analysis is 2.3125 grams. The weight of the filter paper after analysis, that is after 24 hours, is 2.6996 grams. First, we are going to find the quantity of air flowing in that area for 24 hours. According to the question, the quantity of air flowing for per minute is given as 1.2 metric cube. Then for 24 hours, what will be the quantity of airflow? The quantity of airflow is 1.2 into 60 into 24. The quantity of airflow in that residential area for 24 hours we are getting as 1728 metric cube. The amount of PM10 particles present in the given airflow is found by subtracting the final weight of the filter paper by initial weight of the filter paper. By subtracting, we are getting the amount of PM10 particles present in the given airflow as 0.3871 grams. Now we have found the amount of PM10 particles present in this residential area. But according to the question, we have to find the proportion of PM10 particles when compared to the total quantity of air flowing in that area for 24 hours. It is found by dividing the amount of PM10 particles by total quantity of airflow. By dividing, we are getting the proportion of PM10 particles present in this area as 224 microgram per metric cube of air. What it means that if we take 1 meter cube of air from this residential area, it will have 224 micrograms of PM10 particles. To enhance your learning further, according to the National Ambient Air Quality Standard released by Central Pollution Control Board, the PM10 concentration in industrial, rural, residential area and ecological sensitive area, it should be less than 100 micrograms per meter cube of air. But according to our question, this residential area is having PM10 concentration of 224 microgram. What it means that the air in that residential area is not good. It is polluted more. Question number 64. A coal seam of 2 meter thickness is extracted by a long wall retreating panel with a face length of 120 meters. Web depth of shearer is 0.6 meter. Average manpower in the long wall face in a shift is 20. The specific gravity of in situ coal is 1.4. If the shearer makes 4 full face cuts in the 3 shifts, the face OMS in ton is. First, let us try to visualize what is given in the question. The face length is given as 120 meter. The thickness of the coal seam is given as 2 meters. The depth of extraction is given as 0.6 meters. The specific gravity of the coal is given as 1.4. The manpower required per shift is given as 20. The shearer cuts 4 face in 3 shifts. By using the given details, we have to find the OMS, that is output per man per shift. The output of coal produced per shift is found by multiplying the face length into thickness of the coal seam into depth of extraction into the specific gravity of the coal. But according to the question, the shearer cuts 4 faces for 3 shifts. So the total output of coal produced for 3 shifts is found by multiplying the quantity of coal produced for single phase into 4. So the total output produced by the shearer for 3 shifts is found as 806.4 tons. According to the question, for single shift they require 20 numbers of manpower. Then for 3 shifts they will be requiring 60 numbers of manpower. So the output per man per shift is found using the formula total output of coal produced divided by total manpower deployed. According to our question, our total output is 806.4 tons. Our total manpower is 60. On dividing, we are getting the total output per man per shift of this coal phase as 13.4 tons. Question number 61. It is an easy question because in this question they have given us the formula, they have given us the values also. Only thing is we have to substitute the known values in the formula and we have to find the unknown values. They have given a blasting pattern. Consider this as a free phase. Leaving a front burden of 4 meter, they are keeping 4 points in the first row. And leaving a burden of 4 meter from the first row, they are keeping 4 points in the second row. The spacing between the holes is 4 meter and they are keeping a delay of 25 milliseconds between the first row and the second row. Now they are measuring the peak particle velocity of this blast at point A, which is 200 meter from the free face, and they are also measuring the peak particle velocity at point B, which is 50 meter from the point A. The additional data given for this blasting pattern is they are charging each hole of the first row with 500 kgs of explosive, and they are charging each hole in the second row with 475 kgs of explosive. They are measuring the peak particle velocity at point A as 18 mm per second, and they are measuring peak particle velocity at point B as 10 mm per second. They have also given us a formula. Peak particle velocity is equal to K into capital D divided by square root of capital Q whole power minus n millimeter per second. In this formula, the capital D in meter represent the distance from the blast row to the measuring point, while capital Q in kgs represent maximum charge per delay. Keeping the formula and values given in the question, we have to find the site constants, that is value of K and small n. They have given us 4 options that you can see in the screen. At point A, the peak particle velocity is measured as 18 mm per second. The distance between blast row and the measuring point is 200 minus 4, 196 meter. The maximum charge per delay is 4 into 500 kg. Substituting these values in the formula, we are getting equation 1 as 18 is equal to K into 196 divided by root of 4 into 500 whole power minus n. At point B, the peak particle velocity is measured as 10 mm per second. The distance between blast row and the point B is 200 minus 4 plus 50 is equal to 246 meter. Here also the maximum charge per delay is 4 into 500 kgs. Substituting these values in the given formula, we are getting equation 2 as 10 is equal to K into 246 divided by root of 4 into 500 whole power minus n. By dividing equation 1 by equation 2 and taking log on both sides, we are getting n value as 2.5868. Substituting the value of n is equal to 2.59 in equation 1, we are getting K value as 823. So the correct option for this question is option C, which is 823, 2.59.
Hope you like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos related to mining.